2 bintangs. Same bottle, same beer, same sunset. One of these cost me $2.80. The other cost me $11. The only difference was which suburb I was sitting in. That's Seminyak versus Canggu in one picture, mate. Same island, 2 different holidays, 2 different receipts. And full disclosure, I ordered both of these on the same day. For science. So here's the answer before you commit the next 13 minutes. In 2026, for most Australians, first-timers, families, couples, anyone with 7 to 10 days and 1 trip this year, Seminyak wins. Canggu wins for exactly 3 types of people, and I'll name them before the end. Everything between now and then is the proof. With prices, not vibes. And at the finish, I'll score the whole thing like a footy match. 7 rounds, called straight. Because that's how this fight deserves to be called. Here's why this matters. The average Australian flies 6 hours to Bali, takes 9 days of annual leave, and gets exactly 1 shot at it this year. Pick the wrong base and you won't know until day 3, when you're sitting in a traffic jam outside a building site, paying beach club prices for a view of a crane. I've been going to Bali for 20 years. I've stayed in both these suburbs more times than I've counted. So let me save you the tuition fee I already paid. First, the geography. Because the brochures get this wrong. Seminyak and Canggu are 10 kilometers apart on the same coastline. 10 k's. On a map, that's nothing. On a Bali road in 2026, that can be 50 minutes. They're neighbors, but they're 2 different planets. Seminyak is the town that finished growing. The streets are done. The restaurants are done. The beach clubs have been there 20 years, and they'll be there 20 more. It's polished. Some people say too polished. Hold that thought. We'll get there. Canggu is the boomtown that's still growing right now. 10 years ago it was rice fields and a surf break. Today it's the fastest built suburb in Bali. And I mean that literally, because half of it is still under construction while you're trying to find your villa. One of these suburbs is a finished product. The other is a building site with excellent cafes. Keep that in your head. It explains every price in this video. Let's start where every trip starts. The airport. Seminyak's 30 minutes from Denpasar on a bad day. Canggu's 50. And I've done it in 2 hours on a very bad one. A grab of the Uber of Southeast Asia costs $4 or $5 to Seminyak, roughly double to Canggu on a rough night. And here's what the booking sites don't tell you. Canggu isn't one place. It's 3 pockets. Batu Bolong, Barawat Eco Beach, spread across lanes that barely fit 2 scooters. First-timers book Canggu, thinking it's one strip like Eat Street. It isn't. Where you land inside Canggu decides your holiday before it starts. One thing before we leave the airport. When you walk out of arrivals, there'll be a wall of blokes offering taxis. Smile, keep walking, and open the Grab app. The official taxi desk and the app are the honest options. That wall of blokes is the first test of your holiday, and you've just passed it. Now the money, because that's what you actually came for. Rule 1 of 2026. Canggu runs about 30 to 40% cheaper than Seminyak across almost everything. Rooms, food, drinks. A mid-range week in Canggu costs a couple roughly 70 to 130 Australian dollars a day. The same week in Seminyak, 90 to 180. That's not a rounding error. Over 9 days, that's the cost of your flights home. But here's the bit nobody puts in the guidebooks. It's not the suburb that costs you, it's where in the suburb you sit down. A bintang at a warung is 25 to 40,000 rupiah. Call it $3. The exact same bottle at a beach club is 80 to 120,000. $11. A nasi goreng at a local warung is $2.50. Walk 2 streets toward the beach in Seminyak, and the same plate is 8 to 12. The beachfront strip in Seminyak runs 50 to 70% above local prices. Canggu's cafe strip runs 40 to 60 above. Let me walk you through one day. Same day, both suburbs. Breakfast at a cafe. Flat white and eggs. $9 in Canggu, 12 in Seminyak. The coffee's good in both, because half the cafes are run by Australians who missed home. Lunch at a warung, mae goreng, and a cold drink, $4. An hour's massage, 10 to 15, either suburb. Over there that's a daily ritual, not a luxury. Dinner for 2, with drinks, 35 to 50 in Canggu, 60 to 90 in Seminyak. Same quality, same sunset. Give or take a crane, which brings me to the rule that saved me more money than any other in 20 years, the 2-street rule. Walk 2 streets back from the beach, or the main strip, and prices fall by half. 2 streets, that's the whole trick. And here's the bit the spreadsheets never capture. My warung in Seminyak. The owner's name is Wayan. She's seen me 20 trips running, and she starts my mae goreng the second I walk in the door. $4. With a grin. The beach club 2 streets over charges $12 for the same plate, and in 20 years, they've never once learned my name. So the brutal truth about Bali money in 2026 isn't Seminyak versus Canggu. It's the tourist bubble versus 2 streets back, and that's true in both of them. The one place the suburb does decide the price is your room. Seminyak's accommodation is the priciest in Bali. A decent mid-range villa runs you $110 to $260 a night. The equivalent in Canggu? $70 to $180. And in Canggu, if you're staying a month, villas go for $500 to $1,000 monthly. I know Australians paying more than that a week for a caravan park cabin at Christmas. I checked that twice, by the way. It didn't get better the second time. Now the thing that decides more Bali holidays than price ever will: the road. Canggu's traffic in 2026 is bad, and it's getting worse. There's a junction at Batu Balong that becomes a car park every afternoon from 4 till 7. There's a famous back route everyone uses. The locals call it the shortcut, and here's the part one needs you to hear. The government can't widen it. Not won't. Can't. The road is hemmed in by Hindu family temples, and under Balinese law, those can't be moved. The main road in and out of Canggu has a permanent, legal, unfixable choke point. And how broken is it? This broken. In April this year, the Indonesian government committed 1.2 trillion rupiah, over 100 million Australian dollars, to build a sea taxi from the airport, straight up the coast, to Berawar Beach in Canggu. Construction's meant to start this year. A trip that takes up to 2 hours by road would take 30 minutes by sea. Let that sink in, mate. They didn't commit 1 trillion rupiah to a boat because Canggu's fancy. They did it because the road lost. When a government gives up on asphalt and starts building boats, that's the traffic report. And I've been hearing they'll fix the Canggu road since about 2015. The sea taxi is the first plan I've believed, because it's the first one that admits the road can't be fixed. So here's how I play it. Stay somewhere you can walk at night. Use Grab by day. Cheap, air-conditioned, and the drivers know every shortcut that isn't the shortcut. Plan around Batu Balong from 4 till 7. That's beach time anyway, so let it be beach time. As for scooters, that's Friday's video, because the scooter mistake that voids your insurance deserves its own 10 minutes. If you don't ride at home, Bali's not the place to learn. Meanwhile, Seminyak's 30 minutes from the airport on a bad day, and you can walk to dinner. Actual footpaths. In thongs, which, as you'll find out Friday, is the correct footwear, and possibly the only footwear you need. The beach. Seminyak's is wide, golden, and gentle. An offshore reef knocks the edge off the waves so kids can actually swim. Sunset at 6:66, a beanbag, a cold drink, and the sky doing its thing. That's the postcard. And it's real. Canggu's beach is darker volcanic sand with proper surf. Beautiful to look at, less friendly to swim in. If your holiday is in the water with the kids, that's Seminyak. If your holiday is on the water with a board, that's Canggu, and always was. Sunset in Seminyak is a ritual. La plancha, rainbow umbrellas, beanbags on the sand, drums as the sun drops. Touristy? Absolutely. Still magic? Also absolutely. Canggu's version is Old Man's and La Brisa. Driftwood, fairy lights, a surf magazine crowd. Do one night at each. Seminyak's sunset is a family photo. Canggu's is a profile picture. The night split the same way. Seminyak goes late. Big beach clubs, international DJs, bars that are still full at 3 a.m. It's louder and more commercial, and it knows it. Canggu is surf bars and live music, and a crowd that averages 26 and calls Thursday the weekend. Neither one's better. They're just for different people. And being honest about which person you are is how you don't waste 9 days. One more 2026 thing, and I'll be straight with you. This year, Bali's had immigration patrols out in Canggu, Ubud, and Seminyak. They're cracking down on foreigners working on tourist visas. If you're going over for a holiday, this means nothing to you. You're exactly who they want on the island. But it tells you how fast Canggu grew. It got big enough to need policing. That's the boomtown story in one sentence. Now let me tell you about my mate Dave, because Dave is the reason this video exists. Dave booked a villa on the Batu Balong strip for his family of 5. Beautiful place, great price, pool, the lot. What the listing didn't say: the beach was surf, not swimming. The cafe strip was a 40-minute round trip in traffic, and his kids were too young for the scene and too bored for the room. By day 4, his wife was pricing last-minute moves to Seminyak. By day 6, they moved. Paid for 2 rooms in 2 suburbs for 3 nights. Dave's bargain villa was the most expensive lesson of his year. Right suburb for Dave the surfer. Wrong suburb for Dave the dad. Alright, you've seen the evidence. Now let's score it like a footy match. 7 rounds, Called straight, then I'll tell you why the scoreline lies. Round 1. Day-to-day money. Canggu, 30 to 40% cheaper, across the board. Round 2. The room. Canggu again. Monthly villas at $500 to $1,000 is the best value in Bali. 2-0 Canggu. And their fans are singing. Hold that thought. Round 3. Getting there. Seminyak, 30 minutes against 2 cursed hours. Round 4. The beach. Split round. Swimming and kids. Seminyak. Surf. Canggu. Round 5. The road. Seminyak, and it's not close. Round 6. The nights. Split again. Clubs. Seminyak. Surf bars. Canggu. Round 7. The long stay. Canggu, because a month changes the math. But here's why the scoreline lies. The rounds aren't worth the same. The road and the airport aren't one round. You cop them every day of your trip. Money you can manage. Eat 2 streets back, and the gap shrinks. Traffic you can't. It takes your holiday an hour at a time and doesn't give it back. That's why for most Australians on 9 days, Seminyak wins on points. Person by person then. First trip? Seminyak. Family with kids? Seminyak, or Sanur, and that's a video of its own. Couple after dinners and sunsets? Seminyak. Now the 3 Canggu types, as promised. Surfers, never a contest. Under 30, on a budget or a laptop. Cheaper beds, better cafes, monthly villas. And repeat visitors chasing the rougher edge. Stay Berawa or Peraranan, not the Batu Bolong strip, unless you enjoy a traffic jam with your breakfast. Everyone else? The finished town beats the building site. Ask Dave, and if you can't decide, don't. Split the trip. 5 nights in Seminyak for the easy nights, then 3 or 4 in Canggu or Ubud for the cheaper days. One move, $30 in a grab. The people who lose at Bali aren't the ones who picked the wrong suburb. They're the ones who thought they could only pick one. Now the comments are already loading up, so let me say it first. Yes, Seminyak's touristy. Yes, it's the priciest patch in Bali. Yes, the real Bali is out in the villages and the east and the north. And yes, Canggu's cafes are genuinely better. And the surf's world class. Say it all below. You won't be wrong. This video answers one question. Where do most Australians get the most holiday for 9 days in 2026? And the answer is the finished town. 2 bentangs. Same beer. Now you know why the receipts are different. Send the group chat 2 things. The 2-street rule. And the split trip. Whoever's planning will pretend they knew all along. I'm the bloke who's already made the mistakes. 20 years of them. Friday. 7 completely normal Australian things that are illegal in Bali. And number 2, gets an Aussie arrested every single year. If you're on the telly, and half of you are, grab your phone. Search TRIPZONE, and subscribe there. You want Friday's one before you pack. See you.